want you to just really open up to what you're hearing today. Because the faces that you're seeing and the stories that you're hearing, it's not just a few small folks we could scrap together to bring in today. There are hundreds and thousands of individuals out there right now, marginalized and voiceless, okay? This predatory process, what it does is it binds us and it blinds us, okay? It connects us together, but it also blinds us from being able to see those connections. This is an extremely complicated process that you guys are overseeing. I have a feeling that there are those in this room that don't even really know how to navigate understanding DTR as it stands today. Then we're going up against big corporations that have extremely powerful legal teams. Don't think that as these businesses were designed, and don't think that as accrediting agencies were accrediting these companies, that a lot of strategy went into this with legal teams to make sure that they were dotting their I's and crossing their T's. So when you have students put in a situation where you're asking them to prove fraud and to prove that they were misled, how do you get them to prove the verbal? How do you get to prove what happened outside of the signed documents? How do you get them to prove that as they click through forms, then no, you knew what you were signing up for, you're just being irresponsible? How do you prove that? I really take that into consideration, because what I know from working in this industry that's different than other schools that I've been to, they hold your hand through this entire process, man. From the minute that lead comes in and a rep picks it up, from the minute you're the, what do they call it? The director of first impressions, I think is what they call the receptionist, right? From that moment when you walk into the school, you are locked in and somebody is basically escorting you through the entire process. And that's their level of customer service that they sell, that they're offering to you, right? We're really gonna make this easy and what they say is transparent. But as they take these students through this process, that's where the manipulation comes in. Okay? In a short amount of time, in a condensed visit, a student is making the most drastic, life-altering decisions that they'll ever make. Bigger than buying a home, bigger than buying a car. Okay? You can foreclose and get out of those. Student loan debt, you, like somebody shared, you get cancer. That's your best ticket out of it at this point. So as these students are walked through this process with their recruitment rep, we are trained, we are conditioned. For 10 years, I worked in a business model where I was excellent at overcoming objections. I mean, if you guys want to have fun and throw some objections at me, I will overcome them. That's what I was paid to do. You know, just the other day, I went through and I reread the STAR bonus report for what my bonus was built on when I worked for ITT Tech. And I just looked back at it and I was like, wow, yeah, like the system is designed to bind and blind, okay? So even as an employee, you want to believe that what you're doing is right. You want to believe that you're really providing these students the right outlet to set out on the right foot and make some changes in their life. No, I'm sorry. That's not what's happening here. But the business, the for-profit model has been sold out in such a way, we don't even know who we need to point the finger at anymore. Do we go after the executives? Do we go after the accreditor? Do we go after the DOE? It's so convoluted. But at the end of the day, hundreds and thousands of people are out there suffering. They're not getting the jobs they're promised. They're not getting the transfer credits. They can't continue with a better institution. They probably don't even know what the privilege is of getting an actual quality education. So I'm going to tell you right now, from going to these schools, all I had to do was crash study the night before and take these tests. I had a 3.8 when I left ITT Tech, and I promise you, I did not learn anything. That hard drive that we paid for $400, I don't know if it goes in the front or the back of the machine. I don't know, but I got my degree, and I got the grade I was looking for. So without rambling, lost my train of thought. Discharge this debt, absolutely. Across the board, the burden should not be placed on the student. I also want to say that I think the 2-year statute of limitation, that is laughable. What the hell can you do in 2 years when you just got out in figuring out, oh, all of a sudden an apple hit your head and, oh, I was defrauded? No, these students get out of school and they're trying to make use of useless degrees. And in that 2 years, they're trying to figure out, how will I pay for my car? How will I get child care? So you really think that in 2 years after leaving school, you're just going to have this sudden epiphany that you were defrauded? It's through the grassroots organizing that has brought this to the attention of individuals that have been defrauded. It is through the grassroots efforts of individuals volunteering to go out there and raise awareness that has brought us to this room today. It wasn't the Department Department of Ed notifying us that, hey, Corinthian, there were some issues, there was some fraud. That's not what got us here, okay? So these are all things that I hope you take into consideration. I also want to offer, if anybody wants to speak to me outside of the meeting in greater depth, I would be more than happy. I have a lot of opinions, a lot of things to say about the business practice, the accrediting agency, and I also really do think that the Department of Ed is responsible for co-signing and co-creating a predatory structure that we're now dealing with that is now a systemic issue, class-wide, affecting citizens of our United States. Thank you and have a great day.
Karen Clark.
No,
Shorty one.
already.
Oh, she already went. Sorry. Pam Hunt.
My name is Pam Hunt. I'm a 2009 graduate of Corinthian Online. I got my master's degree in criminal justice. Why I believe my student loan should be discharged legally, because it's the law. According to the Higher Education Act of 1965, Section 455H, I, as a student, may assert as a defense against repayment any act or omission of the school I attended that would give rise to a cause of action against the school under applicable state law. I, along with many others, have shown that Corinthian colleges, specifically in my case, Everest University Online, engaged in predatory lending and fraud by their act of omission. They did not tell me that regionally accredited universities do not accept credits earned at their college which lack regional accreditation, when in fact their only accreditation is the Accrediting Council for Independent Colleges and Schools, excuse me, which is a nationally recognized accrediting agency by the United States Department of Education. This information was falsely conveyed to me. Therefore, my master's degree in criminal justice is essentially worthless. By their commission of fraud, regarding their job placement program, the fact that I was practically guaranteed employment in my field of study when I graduated was the deciding factor for me when determining what college I would attend. That proved to be futile, as their job placement program consisted of a few links to internet job sites. By their predatory practice of targeting minorities, specifically Black Americans, for-profit colleges are inherently racist in that while colleges in the mainstream sector has had a minimal 24% increase in Black enrollment, the for-profit sector has had a whopping 264% increase, with twice the average debt for these students. And because you, the DOE, were complicit in their predatory tactics, in that you continued to fund them through government loans while you yourself were investigating them, I have had to pay the price in the worst way. Instead of bettering my life, it became unbearable. I could not, and still have not, been able to become employed in my field of study. I have over $172,000 in student loans. However, I am employed as a PCA, which is a patient care attendant, and the hourly rate is less than $15 an hour. I came here last year to announce that I was embarking on a student debt strike, and as I said in with the meeting with you, the DOE, your team seemed to exhibit signs of deep concern. However, here it is a year later, and nothing has been done. Nothing has been instituted to show me any type of relief, and while I was patiently waiting for a discharge, the house that I rented went into foreclosure, and I was given the opportunity to try to buy it by the bank, but I was told that because of my debt-to-income ratio, I was not eligible for a mortgage. although I am on the income-based repayment, which I pay zero, the mortgage consultant told me that before the 30 years was up, that loan would come into repayment. And based on my salary today, I would not be able to pay the mortgage and the loan, excuse me, and the student loan. So he denied me. He told me if I could get a 30-year deferment letter from the Department of Education, he'd give me the loan on the spot. So, me being the optimist that I am, I wrote a letter to Ted Mitchell and asked for a 30-year deferment letter, and I'm still waiting for his answer. But in the interim of that whole situation, I became homeless with my 5 children, and this was recent. I'm talking like October. And I lived from hotel to hotel because I could not purchase the home, and I had nowhere to go, and I have a severely disabled son, and the home I lived in for 10 years was designed with him in mind. It had a wheelchair ramp. It was handicap accessible, so obviously I would want to, stay there. But it wasn't possible, so I had to pack up my kids, and we lived from hotel to hotel. So when you want to say to me that the situation of discharging student loans is an individual process, I say that that's absolutely wrong. This is a mass process. I was not targeted individually by this predatory school. They preyed upon the masses, and so therefore these loans should be discharged the same way that they preyed upon us.
All right. Tanya Suggs.
Good evening, everyone. I attended Everest University online. I have a 2-year degree. I'm currently $40,000 in debt. Before attending college, I was living in low-income housing. The reason that I attended college was to get out of that situation, to do better, and that's why I attended college. So here I am now, a year later, from becoming a debt striker. I am still in the same position, if not worse, in a more worse position. I can't pay my bills. I'm unemployed. I applied for over 300 jobs and still haven't got a call back from either one of them as far as government jobs because I have a criminal justice degree. I think it's wrong because now that I've been defrauded and I'm in a worse situation, I just think it's wrong that I have to take money out of my son's mouth to give it to the government. I just think that's absolutely wrong. And as far as the individualized process, like everyone else said, that's wrong as well. That's not going to work, and we're not going to settle for it. We're going to continue to come back. We're going to continue to organize, and we're going to continue to push harder and harder and harder until they get it, because this is it's becoming a bigger and bigger and bigger issue. And I just want everyone to understand that that has ruined our lives. Like, you don't understand. I would love to be in your position right now, making 6 figures and living as lovely, and living happily, but I just can't do that. So, just take that into consideration. Where you are, I would love to be there. I studied hard to be where you are. And look where I'm at. I can't pay my bills. I have a 19-month-old son, and we are struggling. And that's all I have to say.
Mackenzie Vasquez.
My name is Mackenzie. I'm 22 and I'm from Santa Cruz, California. I attended the San Jose Everest campus for a medical assisting degree or certificate. Just like everybody else, I fell victim to all of the so-called promises they were going to make me. I was told that I would be making this. I was basically laid out. I came in for a showing of the so-called school. I was instantly taken into a room where the lady who was signing me up, or did not know at that time, sat me down, opened up some papers, and said, "Here's why do you want to go to school?" And I said, "Well, I want to provide for myself. I want to have a family. I want to be an adult. I want to be a part of the American dream." And she told me, "Well, great. Look at what you could be making." And she points at this big number. All our students that graduate from here, they make 9 months. 9 months. That's it. I mean, I'm 19 at the time, so I mean, I come from a background with 2 parents who don't have. One with a GED and one that just graduated high school. So I have no understanding of what I'm getting into, but at the same time, I'm not going to question the educational system. At this point, I don't think that I'm going to be taken advantage of. So she shows me all these numbers. She tells me this is how many people graduate. So only 2 people from this year didn't graduate. And shows me all these things, and I say, okay, well, I can sign up, but I need to know that I'm going to get help because I'm commuting and I work 40 plus hours and I live in like the 5th expensive city in the United States. She tells me, "Don't you worry, you're going to get that. You're going to get you'll get help. Don't worry, we're here to help you." Perfect. So she pulls out these papers and she has me initial. And half the time she goes, "Don't worry, this is just our rules. Just sign here, just sign here." Just talking very nicely to me. Anyways, I get through all these papers. I come to school and I'm about a month or 2 in. I haven't received any help and I'm struggling. I'm barely making gas to get there. I'm living off of food from free food from work, and I go talk to them about the help, and they tell me, "Well, no, that paid for your books, and that was the help that we were giving you." And the financial aid lady walked out on me and told me she didn't have time. And then about 2 months in, I am having teachers aren't there. I'm sitting in a classroom with no teachers, and the students are just hanging out. I'm being taught by another student who has maybe been there for 2 months how to draw blood. There's horrible things going on in this classroom that are definitely not, you should not be doing with needles, and just really absurd. And I'm being sat in a room to be on a computer for 6 hours because they don't want a teacher to teach us. I didn't pay $30,000 for that. That's not, I can do that at home. I didn't pay $30,000 to have a student teach me how to draw blood. And then I get told that 3 months in, you have a $25 to $50 fee that you need to pay every month. I don't know what it's for. They tell me it's a TFC payment. I have no idea to this day what that payment was. And by the 3rd month, I could not continue to pay that payment. So they kicked me out of school, told me I couldn't come back unless I paid. And when I said, "I barely have food for myself, I can't pay this, but I want to come to school," they told me, "You need to get your priorities straight." I'm 22, I didn't finish, I'm $30,000 in debt, and I have nothing to show for it. Nothing. I can't get a car, I can't buy a house, I can't even put a cell phone in my own name. And I went to school to better my life. And the worst part is you have this 2-year limit, this limitation. I didn't even know that it was that bad. I just thought that was school. I mean, this is the first college I've ever been to. So I didn't know that I was being taken advantage of. Until later, I come to find out that they're being sued and that they're under investigation. They've been under investigation for 7+ years. If you're investigating them for 7+ years, you're going to give me 2 years to do it. I don't see how that works for me. It doesn't work for me. It's not fair. And I'm tired of being held accountable for being a criminal. I did nothing wrong but go to better my life. And now I'm stuck dealing with it. I can't go to another school to go get a real education. I mean, I don't know what to do, and I feel like you allow this to happen, and I feel like it's time that you take responsibility and acknowledge what happened. I mean, I went to a school with primarily, in the whole school, there was maybe 2 to 3 white people, and the rest of us were Hispanic and black. And I and my friend who went to this school, this whole school, I'm not even joking, we were the only 2 girls without children. And you're going to sit here and tell me this isn't predatory lending, this is straight predatory lending. And it needs to be dealt with and taken care of and taken seriously. Because I'm 22 and I do not have a chance at a regular life right now. I'm struggling to meet ends meet. I'm 22 years old. It's messed up. And if you guys don't do anything about it, understand that we will continue to organize, and we will continue to grow, and our voices will be heard. And that's it.
Paul Hicks.
My name is Paul Hicks. I've been in public service for over 30 years. That includes the Texas Army National Guard, Texas State Guard, and Texas Department of Corrections. I've been in public service my whole adult life. I'm looking out for others and protecting other people at all costs. I saw the Everett University commercial on TV many times, and it sounded so promising. All I had to do was make that call and make a change. My life will. It did. Made a change for worse. When I started Everett University in 2009, I had high hopes and dreams of a better future for me and my family when I graduated with a associate's degree in 2012. I thought, yeah, this is the beginning of a new chapter in my life. I also even got my 2 older children to sign up school, try to get them the advantage to go somewhere. Well, my hopes and dreams were put on hold. For 3 years after graduation, the college refused to give me my diploma because the one I worked for and earned because of alleged balance of $648. Even after receiving $40,000 in federal loans and $12,000 in Pell Grants, when is enough enough? They lied about many things, from the price of the course, providing the necessary tools to complete the program, the time it takes to complete the program. They even said my hearing impaired wouldn't be an issue with some of our hearing aids. This isn't a problem, don't worry, we'll cover it. They even withdrew me from school several times and claimed it was a mistake on their part. Okay. The Department of Education should have protected us from predators. As a public servant, I'm appalled that the Department of Education is still lining his pockets with our hard work and money that we deserve to have all our debt erased. The school in question was closed and sold off in heavy fines by the Department of Education. It is sold off in violating the laws of numerous states, and several members of Congress agree with us. 9 attorney generals agree also. The Department of Education is dragging its feet to get that last few dollars from the victims they helped create. I will fight with other students as part of the debt collector until our demands are met and justice is served. I should not have to fight for something so obvious. So please do us right and discharge the predatory loans. I will leave this with you. I'm going to show you this. $52,000 piece of paper does not work the bird cage. Paper you put in the bird cage. And this is what I think about the public education in the handling of the situation. I hope you did that.
That's everybody on the list. Is there anyone else in the audience who would like to address the committee at this time? Okay. I would like to thank, on behalf of the committee, all of you for coming down to share your stories with us. So thank you very much, and I'm sure they will have an impact on our discussions as we proceed. At this point, we'll adjourn, and we will reconvene tomorrow at 9 a.m. Oh, yes? Found a cell phone?
In the bathroom, ladies' bathroom.
So is there a cell phone in the ladies' bathroom? Found. Okay. Okay, so again, we'll adjourn, and we'll reconvene tomorrow at 9 a.m.